Okay, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to your first Python crash course session. My name is Rajesh. I'll be moderating this particular session for today. I'm part of the student success team here at Upgrad, and on behalf of my entire team and also Rajan Chetri itself, I welcome everyone to the PG Diplomas program in machine learning as well as in data science. So, as we all know that one of the important aspects in this particular PG diploma is the programming language that is Python. So, before the main program starts on 30th of June, we are conducting six Python crash courses that will help you understand the programming language, and it will get you at pace before the main program starts itself. So, just a few small reminders and tips for this particular session of today. Since it's the first session, it might be possible that students might have some logistically or connectivity issues or something like this, or not able to be at pace. It is totally fine. Rajan here is very good with having students transition properly into the entire learning experience. And second thing is that like during the entire 2 hour session, you might be having a lot of doubts and queries, which will be resolved once the session is completed. So if you can see on the Zoom platform, there is a small Q&A tab on the platform itself. So if you have any questions or any doubts, you can just put them on the Q&A section. And once the session is completed, Rajan will take these questions. So given the time constraint as well, there might be possibility that some questions might not be answered or might have moved back and forth on something like this. If such things, do continue these questions on the discussion forum of the learning platform itself, where our teaching associates will help you answer these questions, and the students will also be interacting in these things. So just a small reminder again to make sure that you complete the pre-prep course by 30th of June. So without any further delay, I would like to welcome Rajan Chetri, who would be conducting today's first Python crash course. Rajan?
Yeah, hi Rajesh.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, Rajesh. How are you?
Likewise, and I'm hoping the students are feeling the same as well. So I just had a small discussion and introduction regarding today's session and how the way forward would be. So without any further delay, can you just take it forward, please?
Yeah, definitely. I'll take from here. Thank you
Thank
very much for that lovely introduction, Rajesh. So, guys, I welcome all of you in this Python crash course, and my name is Rajan. So, first of all, I'm starting with my introduction, basically, right? So, basically, I'm a technical consultant, and I've been working in the IT industry for more than 10 years. And in the journey of 10 years, I know I served a lot of clients on different technologies and products. Python is one of them, and one thing I want to tell you that Python has been a game changer in my in my career, and it has given a good transition in my programming style. So in this Python crash course, I'm going to share whatever I know about Python with all of you. And as you all know that it's a preparatory course, right? So definitely, I'm going to land you at a very at a very suitable place from where you can take on your machine learning or data science aspects further, right? So I hope everybody can hear me properly, loud and clear. So can I have a small confirmation from the participants? Can you hear me loud and clear? And can we start with the warm wishes here, right? So how about good evening or hi or hola? All right, all right, that's great. Okay, excellent. So I can see a lot of enthusiasm and participation here. So before I proceed further with the technical aspects of the session and the coding part and everything exercises. So I want to tell you that first of all, one thing that I want from this team, right? So like this is not my regular sessions, right? So I've been taking sessions for grad many a times, and this is n number of times I've taken. So with that experience, with the cohorts, with the participants, one thing I want to tell or say to all of you, and that one thing is that we are here to work as a team, right? So please include yourself as a team member here, right? So definitely, if you are new to Python programming or if you have some sort of experience in Python programming, so definitely it is going to help you a lot. So this Python crash course, doesn't requires much fundamentals, right? So this uh, Python crash course, Amal Naidu, that is what I'm talking about here. This Python crash course, doesn't require much of the programming experience. In case if you have some sort of programming experience, so that will be helpful, right? So in case if you don't have, so that will be okay. So first of all, let's do a small audience analysis here, right? So I'm doing a small audience analysis. So can I see some of the participants here? Just notify me who are from completely non-tech background here. So who are starting from the programming for the first time? Okay, Amar, Arun Kumar, RJ, got it, Surendra, Satish, new coder, Sanjay, Abhijit. Okay, Melsi, Ganesh, Suhas, Iftikhar, Mohit. Okay, 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 got it. Non-coder. Okay, got it. Got it. Thank you for telling me, right? Thank you for letting me know. Uh, the first of all, right? So as I told you in the beginning, right? So we are supposed to work here as a team, right? So what team members are supposed to do, right? So people who are having some sort of programming experience, right? So let's assign a beautiful task to them. So let's say when the participants are posting the questions, right? So you as a senior expert, right, are requested to post the answers, right? I will definitely post the answers too, but as I told you, we are working as a team here, and that response will help me, in getting the smooth session, right? So that is something that I expect from the senior members here. All right. Thank you, Alok Kumar, for that lovely smile. Okay, so I can see, in this cohort, there are a lot of people who are from non-programming background. So I'm going to take it from the scratch, right? So let's get started with this Python programming and let's see exactly what we have available here in this Python crash course. Okay, so first of all, let's start with the agenda, guys, right? So first of all, let's start with the agenda. And I'm being very precautious in, delivering the content here. I hope everybody is equally alert also. All right. Okay. So what we have here, right? So in today's day one, so in day one, we are going to getting start with the Python programming, right? So we are going to start with the Python essentials here. I'm going to give you the overview of exactly what Python is all about. But one thing I want to say to all of you, because this is a crash course, so I'm going to skip some things which are which are self doable, right? So for example, history, right? So you can go to the history in Wikipedia. So that is something you can do on your own. I'm going to take the important aspects of Python programming, which are going to serve as the foundation or the spine of your programming blocks. So the Python essentials, yes, I'm going to tell you. In this, I'm going to tell you exactly why people are crazy behind Python, or why Python is being chosen for almost every task we have in today's industry. So there are the reasons, right? So we are going to share those reasons. So in the first phase, we are going to convince ourselves, right, why we are supposed to learn Python. What will happen if you don't learn Python, and why Python, is better in some certain context, right? So once again, I would like to point out here, it's not that when we are learning Python, the other languages become obsolete. No, it is not that. Every language has its own advantages and disadvantages. So all of you, as an IT professional, please respect each technology equally, right? Okay, justice. Okay, in the second session, second point here, we'll be talking about the environment setup. So I'm going to tell you exactly in your laptop or in your desktop how or what softwares you're going to need, right? And what's how to do the installation, how to work with the softwares, how to start with the codes, right? How to compile the program and how to run the program. So these things I'm going to share with all of you. And then we're going to do the small basic program of hello world, how to display a message, and how to get the program running, The only thing is that it's not aimed at displaying the hello world message, right? It's aimed at understanding the basic structure of the coding, right? How to write the code. And then we'll be talking about some basic data structures today, right? So like what are data structures, why we need them, right? What will happen if we don't have data structures, or what is the outcome of using data structures, that we're going to talk about. Now, a fifth point is all about strings, right? Strings is something that I'll be taking later, I believe, not in today's session probably, because a string is something which requires a certain prerequisite of programming. So I'm going to lay that prerequisite first, and then I'll be coming to the string part, right? And I've just tweaked the program here, and then there are exercises that I'll be doing, and then summary, right? Now, one more thing, guys, right? So it's a request with all of you that once you learn something in today's session, okay, just let it go, right? Don't try to hold it, right? Just let it go. Just make sure that you understand the concepts, right? Make sure you understand the concepts and let it go. And then the key to learning is to hit it once again, right? To hit it once again. So when I say hit it once again, that basically means that you have to review the coding once the video once again, to master things, right? Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the Python programming and the training strategy, right? The training strategy, right? So what is the strategy of training here? The strategy of training here is visualization, right? So basically, it is my training style, right? So whenever I start with any of the trainings, I create a kind of visuals for the participants so that they can exactly understand what things we are talking about here, right? So in today's session, we are talking about Python. So first of all, let's look at the code, right? How the Python code looks like, right? Hello world. All right. So you can see here displays output or message on screen, right? So first of all, let's look at the Python code first of all, right? So that we have a picture in our mind exactly how the Python codes looks like. Okay. Okay. Yeah, semicolon is a part of Python, but it is optional right now. I'm into the habit of coding other programming languages, so it's like my fingers are having some sort of memory in there. Okay, thank you, Imanch, for that beautiful thing. Okay, first of all, let's look at the codes here, right? So this is a Python code, everyone, right? So if you have never seen Python code, or if you're new to Python programming, first of all, let's see how the codes look like. Now, what this code does, right? It basically prints the message, right? So it prints a message. So what is the message here? It prints the message on the screen, and that is hello world, right? Okay. Okay, so this is the Python code. Okay, level of complexity, right? Level of complexity. So here, let's talk about the level of complexity here. Now, first of all, I want to, congratulate all of you who are new programmers, because you're learning a technology which has got one rating out of 5 for the complexity level, 5 being the highest, right? So 5 being the highest complexity, the level of complexity or the level of complexity in learning Python is only 1, right? So comparing to other programming languages, Python is comparatively very easy to learn, right? Just look at the codes here, right? It's just one line. And what it says simply print a message on the screen, right? So this is what it is all about. So I think this should be understood by all the participants. Okay, so here this is a small visualization here, and okay, let's get started with the theoretical part here, right? So I'll take a half an hour or probably 40 minutes or so for explaining exactly what Python is all about. Okay, so let's get started with the Python programming, and I'm going to make you understand exactly what Python is all about. So what it says here, right? Listen to me carefully. What it says here, what is Python? Python is an interpreted, interactive, object-oriented programming language. Now, what does it mean? It means that Python is interpreted, right? Now, what do you mean by interpreted here? I'll tell you, right? I'll tell you what does interpreted means. Interpreted basically means, like, suppose you have a Java, right? Suppose you have a Java source code, right? And when you compile that source code, it generates, a intermediate code, right? It doesn't matter whether you know Java or not, right? But it's just a sequence here that I'm telling you. Java source code, we are compiling the source code, and it generates the intermediate code, and then we execute the intermediate code, and then we get the output, right? Okay. So what is the point here? .java file generating .class file, and then we are getting the output after execution, right? So here there is an intermediary code here which is getting generated. This is called compilation. Now what this doesn't happen with the Python, right? We have Python and directly output. So what is the difference in both the cases here? The difference in both the cases is that in Java, what we have a intermediary code here. But in Python, we don't have intermediary code, right? What happens when you execute the Python source code, right? When you execute the Python source code, it directly gets converted into the output, right? So this process basically means interpretation, and this process basically means compilation, right? Okay. So before I proceed further, can I ask my participants, did you understand what does interpretation means? Everyone, can you confirm me? Okay. Now, I want to tell you something here, everyone. Thank you for your lovely responses. I want to tell you something here, right? Now, Python is a versatile language, right? Python is a versatile language. Now, how come it is versatile, right? The reason because Python is compiled as well, and Python is interpreted as well. It depends in what way you want to execute it, right? Execution style, right? So I'll call it execution style, right? So Python is versatile. I said Python is versatile. So when I'm saying interpreted, it doesn't completely means it is interpreted. It supports both the styles of executions, both either compiled or interpreted, right? So just make sure you just keep it in mind. So I'll just, okay, there is a question from Abhinav. So he says that why do we compile? And the answer is security and performance, right? So if the program is pre-compiled, you have better security of your code, and the performance of your code enhances, right? So these are the two reasons why compilation is better. Thank you, Abhinav. Okay, and platform dependence. Okay, true. Thank you, SD Biswas. Now, what is the second point here, right? Second point says Python is interactive. Now, what do you mean by interactive? So I'm going to show you something here, right? Okay, so whatever applications I'm using right now, whatever windows I'm using right now, I'm going to tell you from where you're going to get all these windows. Just look at the output as of now, right? Just look at the output. The first word was interpreted, and the second word is interactive. Now, what does interactive means? Look here. See, can you see this triple arrows here? Okay. Now, if I write Python instructions here, right? Okay, this is a window where I can write Python instructions. Let's pause. Okay. This is a window where I'm supposed to write Python instructions. Let me show you. Print hello world. See, it prints hello world. Okay, let's create an integer variable with the value 10. Let's print a, right? Okay, let's print a plus 5. Let's print a divided by 2. See, look at the interaction. I as a developer, right? I as a developer can interact with the Python environment using this window, right? Using this shell, you can say. So here, I can give Python instructions and I can interact with the Python environment, right? So whatever I want Python to perform, I can ask that engine, I can ask that environment by writing Python instructions, right? Okay, right. So this is called interactivity. So who is interacting? A developer is interacting with the Python environment using a programming language called Python. So this is called interactive, right? Okay. Okay, I'll ask this question here. Pratik, after approximately, I'll say and then 15, 20. After approximately 22 to 23 years, now we have in Java. Java is nowadays interactive, but after 22 years, just imagine. So Python has got these things very in the early stage. Yeah, Nirup, that is also true. Okay. So, fine. All right. All right. Now the third point, right? I hope everyone can hear me properly, right? Okay, thank you. Now the third point is Python is object oriented, right? Okay, okay. So what does object oriented means, right? Now the Python is object oriented, right? Okay. So what we have covered, Python is interpreted, Python is Python is interactive, right? And Python is object oriented. Okay. So what does object orientation means, right? Ability to represent real world entity and behavior in programming, right? What is object orientation means, right? So ability, it is an ability to represent the real world entity or behavior in programming. Now what does it means? It means that, for example, let's say John is a bank customer. He withdraws money, he deposits money, right? So this is a real world behavior, right? So John is a bank customer, he withdraws money, he deposits money. Now, you are new to programming, I know, but still look at the code here, right? Class bank customer, right? Def deposit. Okay, I know you are a new candidate, just look here, right? You don't need to understand the codes here. Okay. Now, can you observe few things here, right? Out of this thing, right? Just look at the programming style, right? Look at the programming style. What we have here, John. John is a bank customer. So you can see there is something called blank bank customer class, right? So what he does, he withdraws money and deposit money. You can see here the code construction. Observe the code construction, right? I'm not trying to explain you the coding. I'm trying to explain you that you can construct the behavior of real world in programming, right? So this construction is equivalent to what is written here, right? So John is here, right? And the behaviors are here. So this ability to represent or to construct the real world behavior in programming is given to you by you can say a capability which is called object orientation, right? And it is a very it is a very brief topic. I just told you as a summary or the conclusion what object orientation enables you, right? So let's take an example of a C programming language, right? So in C programming languages, you cannot represent the same behavior, right? You cannot construct the code. You cannot construct in the code in such a way that it represents the same behavior in programming, right? So can I ask my participants here? Did you understand the interactivity and the object orientation part? Is it strong clear to you? Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. Okay, now I'll proceed further and I'll tell you. Okay, okay, great. Now, what are the reasons, right? What are the reasons why Python is very popular and why people are are crazy behind Python? So I'm going to take all these points one by one. So okay, talking about the point number one. So the point number one says that it is multi-purpose, right? Okay, PHP is not multi-purpose, right? So there's a language called PHP. You must have heard of PHP, right? So PHP is mostly or mainly used for the web application development, right? So PHP is not multi-purpose. You cannot use PHP for graphical applications, right? You can use PHP for web applications only, right? But Python, right? Python can be used for graphical applications, right? or GUI applications. Python can be used for console-based applications, right? Python can be used for web applications, right? For developing websites. Okay, and then Python can be used for n number of applications, right? So there are various use cases of Python where Python can be implemented, right? So the very first thing is that Python is multi-purpose. Now the second point we have already discussed, that Python is object oriented, that enables you to represent the real world behavior. Now the third point is Python is interpreted. Interpreted means it directly gets converted into the machine code and you get the output. Now, Python focuses on readability and productivity and productivity. Now, what does it mean? Right? Let me tell you. So the point is Python focuses on readability, right, and productivity. Now, what does it mean, right? What does it mean? Python focuses on readability and productivity, right? So first of all, let's look at the code here, right? Class ABC def do something. Once again, I'm not willing to explain you the codes here. Just look at the construction here, right? Range 10, print X. Okay. Now, in case, right, in case you have observed any other programming languages, or if you have seen any other programming language, no matter whether you know them or not, so you must have observed that in other programming languages we use brackets, right? So brackets basically define the scope of your uh, you know uh, or the area of your usage, right, where you can use the things, right? So in Python, you can see here the code is very clean, right? In Python, we don't have curly braces here, right? So there are, first of all, there are no curly braces in Python. You can see here. Now the second thing is that Python follows something called indentation. What does indentation means? It means you can see the gap from the left. Can you see this, right? So this gap is called indent, right? Indent. So basically, this indent tells, right, like which code is within which block, which code is within which block, which code is within which block. So in my session, I'm going to explain you properly how these indentations are constructed, right? So you don't need to worry about that. So the Python codes are more readable compared to the other programming languages because they are very clean, indented, and without braces or without flower brackets, right? Okay. No, Sharat, we are not supposed to use brackets. And Niru, yes, indentation is compulsory, right? Okay. Now, the very bottom third point, right? Batteries included, right? A total of 98,524 modules available. Yeah, Josna, I'll come to your question, right? Once I, start with the programming, just have some patience, right? Okay. Productivity, right? So productive is Neha, productivity basically means that when you can see the codes properly, when you can read the codes properly, you can easily debug them, you can easily do the assertions, or you can easily find the bugs, and you can easily extend the codes, right? So this is called productivity. Yeah, Dilip, we can there is a framework called Django. Using that you can, right? Okay. Okay. Batteries included, right? Now, what does it mean? Now, first of all, let me tell you. Now, you need to understand this thing properly, right? First of all, when you learn any technology, right? First of all, when you learn any technology, right? You just you just code. Okay, you just code or create a template to use existing or predefined libraries or functionality, right? This might sound confusing to you. Just try to understand what I'm trying to say here. So, in example, let's take an example. If you're a Java or a Python programmer, if you're a Java or Python programmer, your code is just there to use built-in codes, isn't it? Do you agree with this? If you're a Python programmer or Java programmer, your code is doing nothing. You are just creating a template for using the existing libraries, isn't it? So what I'm trying to say here is that the vaster or the more the library available, right? The more functionality you have.
Right? That's what I'm trying to say here. So the more or the vast program libraries if you have available with you, the more functionality you're going to have, isn't it? The lesser the built-in libraries, the lesser the built-in functionality. So you can do very less thing. Let's compare R programming language and Python. If we compare R with Python libraries, so R is having very less number of libraries. I think 1/10 of the uh, uh, libraries are there compared to Python, right? Flask is for web it's for creating a template for web applications. Yes, Vivek, we can create our own batch phase. That is absolutely true. Yeah, Sandeep, that's completely fine. It's like a .h file or in C and C++ or the Java packages, right? Yeah, Python is open source, Aman Naidu. Okay, okay. So how many batteries are there? There are 98,524, I believe. Yeah, plus libraries, right? So there are a lot of libraries in case, right? So yes, we can create our own library. That's true. Yes, it is open source. Yeah, Guru. Battery is just you can say fancy term that I've used here for the libraries. I hope you got your answer. Look. Yeah, Sandeep, I'm going to tell you in my next slide what library is used for what purpose. Now, interactive shell, I showed you this thing, right? This window is okay. I'm talking about the second point here. No money, not all the libraries migrate, very few. Okay. Okay, you can see this window here. What is this window? This is interactive shell, right? So this is an interactive shell where we write the Python instructions and get our task done. Randhir, I'll say job or the whole application, you can say. Okay. Now the last point is that cross-platform. So can I ask my participants here, do you know the meaning of what does being cross-platform means? And the next point, next answer I want from you is that what is the benefit of cross-platform? Can I ask all of you? What does cross-platform means and what is the benefit of cross-platform? Oh, because you seem to be having some sort of Java background. Okay. Okay, I'm getting a lot of responses here. All right, all right. That's true. That's true. That's true. Yes, yes. So, it is rightly said by all the participants that what does cross-platform means? It basically means that it is platform independent, or by the term platform independent, basically means that it can run on any operating system, mostly on all popular operating system, whether it is Windows or Mac or Linux, right? Okay. But this is just a technical definition of exactly of what does cross-platform means. Now let's understand another perspective of how cross-platform feature is useful for businesses, right? So for example, let's say if I'm aiming to develop a product, right? So suppose I'm going to develop a product for the customers in the market to be sold in the market, right? So in the market, there are many n number of users using different or variety of operating systems. So if I choose any technology which is platform specific or platform dependent, so what will happen? I will be able to sell that particular product to only those customers who are belonging to that particular thing. So let's take an example of .NET here. Nowadays, .NET is trying to become platform independent, but mostly it is Windows compatible. So a general assumption, let's say if I develop any applications using .NET, so I'll be able to deliver those products into the users who are belonging to the Windows platform mostly. So I'll miss the Mac people, I'll miss the Linux people, right? So in that case, if I go with the Python programming or Python technology, in that case, I'll be able to deliver the products to a number of people using different operating systems. So that means basically more sales. Okay, okay, fine. So uses of Python, right? So there was a question from one of the participants exactly how do we know which libraries are used for which purposes here. So basically, I'm just giving you a few time here, just few seconds here. You can see for the web development part, right? If you are interested in web development using Python, so there are various frameworks available in the market, right? Such as Django, Pyramid, Bottle, Tornado, Flask, and Web2Py. So this is just a general information for all of you, right? I'm not asking you to simply grab or just eat all the things here. Right? So simply just go through exactly a few things, right? So if you're from scientific and numerical application development, you may would like to use SciPy. SciPy is also used in many scientific applications. Pandas is the foundation of data science and data analytics, right, or artificial intelligence. So you're going to use pandas in most of the places, right? So IPython, will be using IPython, right, in context of Jupyter. Then we have software development, build, bot, track, and roundup. And then for system administration, we have Ansible, Salt, and OpenStack. Ansible is a very good thing here. Isn't it? Ansible is for build automation, I believe. Okay, so these are open source, right? These are open source. Thank you, Sumit Satapathy. All right, let's proceed further, right? And let's see what we have got in the magic box today. So it says that who uses Python, right? So probably you must be knowing some of the companies here, right? So basically, Python is used in all these brands, right? So I think YouTube is also built using Python. Okay, so if Python can convince these giant brands, obviously Python has got something to do with it. Okay. Oh wow. So what we have here, right? Okay, we have here a practical lab, right? So we're going to set up the lab here. So I'm going to show you exactly how to set up the lab first of all, and then we're going to do the experiments. Okay. So the very first thing that we are about to learn is the environment setup, right? So environment setup. So what does it mean? It means what softwares or applications I need, right, to do Python programming, right? Okay. Yes, Bharat, that's always there. That's always there. Okay. So the point is that we are learning how to set up the environment or the softwares, right? So for that, I'm going to take you to the few of the websites here, right? So first is python.org, and the second is anaconda.com, right? So I'm going to show you the difference between these two things, and you need to understand it carefully. Okay. Okay. So let's look at the things here, right? Okay. Python.org. I hope the net is working properly. Okay, yes. So we have python.org here. This is the official website representing, okay, this is the website, guys. Okay, I was just reading the question actually. Hey, admin, I'll just see that, right? Okay. So you're supposed to go to the downloads, right? And here there's a downloads for Windows here because I'm using Windows here. So in my sessions, right, I encourage everyone to use the Python version 3.x or higher. So when I say 3.x means 3.x and higher, right? So here 3.7.3 is available. So you can simply download this setup and you can simply install this setup, right? So I think this should be okay with all of you. Okay, I believe we have softwares here. Okay, Python. All right. So here, this is an exe file, right? You can see here. Right. Okay, is that exe? Let me check. Yeah, it's an exe file, right? So once you click on this button here, you're going to download this exe file here, right? Simply double click on this exe file and run this, right? Simply click on next, next, and next, and your software will be installed, right? So there is no hard and fast configuration which is required here. So let's close this. All right, now, okay, now you are not okay. Please do not install this, right? So we are not using this thing, right? So in we are not using this thing. I just told you for the information purpose only. We're going to use the anaconda here, right? So I'm going to tell you exactly what this is. Hey, okay, okay, use this. Right? So that was just for informational purpose. Sheikh, that is completely okay with that, right? Okay, Rahul, you can, right? So let me go through this and you will understand automatically. So, I told you about python.org and there is something called Anaconda. So why I'm saying that do not install this, right? So the reason is that it's core, you can say core Python. All the standard libraries are not available, need to install manually, right? Okay, so this is the reason, right? Why? Okay, now includes Python plus all the popular libraries, right? And no need of install plus additional tools to help build Python applications. All right, so I think this should make some sense now, right? Okay, so what is the difference between Python and Anaconda here? Now, Anaconda is called distribution, right? What does okay, let me show you Anaconda first of all. Yeah, so that's true. So this is the anaconda.com, right? You can take some time later to go through the website. So let's jump directly into the download link here, which is on the top right corner here. So in the top right corner, click on the download button. CNU, there is as such no issue, except when you are using any Python interpreter, you must check exactly which one you are using if you have multiple installations in your system. Anaconda is basically not an IDE. It's a distribution. I'll say, Pradeep. I'll tell you exactly why I'm saying that. Okay. So first of all, you can see here, right? Let me show you some beautiful things here, right? Can you see these boxes here, right? So what are these boxes? These boxes are basically tools and technologies, right? So these are tools and technology which are already included in Anaconda, right? So basically, if you install Anaconda, you will get all these things automatically. So you can see here we have installers for Windows, we have installer for Macs, and we have installer for Linux, right? So according to your operating system, you can install the appropriate version. So because I'm using Windows operating system, so I'm going to use Python 3.7 here, and I'm going to download the installer. Probably the default one is 64-bit, and if your system is 30-bit, go for this one, right? Okay. So yes, everyone, let's phrase this. So what you're going to do in order to set up the Python environment in your system, you're going to go to this website, right, anaconda.com, and you're going to the downloads, and you're going to download the Python 3.7 version according to your operating system, right? So this is what it is required. And let me show you here, right? So you can see here I have two different versions of Anaconda with me. So obviously you'll have one, right? So whatsoever version you're downloading, simply double click on that setup and install it, right? So let me show you a few steps here, right? Okay, so I've double clicked on that thing, right? So this is the Anaconda installer. Simply click on next and follow the instructions. Next, 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 next. Once again, it doesn't require any hard configurations to be done. It simply requires you to accept the agreement, and then you can simply click on the install button later, right? So this is how you're going to install everything. Okay, so let me show you once again where were we? We were in the environment setup. I told you that there are two Python installations which are available. One is the core or standard Python, which doesn't have the built-in libraries with it, right? It just have Python, a basic fundamental Python into it, right? And then we have a distribution. So what does it mean? When I say distribution, guys, remember distribution is a standard term, right? So it is used in the industry. So this, what does distribution contains? It contains the core Python plus all the popular libraries, right? So that you don't have to install, plus the additional tools, right, to help build Python applications. Yeah, yeah, that's true, admin. Great. Fine. So this is the environment setup. So can I confirm from my participants here, can you install the Anaconda distribution? Now, do you know exactly from where to download and how to set up the environment, how to set up the Anaconda distribution in your system? Okay, excellent, excellent. Okay, great, great, excellent. No, no. In case if you have Python installed, that is completely okay with me. So you can ask me, in the upcoming sessions to, manually install, how to manually install the libraries. So that can also be done, right? Okay. I suggest, Anaconda as of now, right? Because we are at the beginning level. So let's go with let's go smoothly with the programming part, and then once we are comfortable and well versed with the programming section, we'll jump into the troubleshooting section later, right? Yeah, I'm going to give you some idea on that. That's completely true. Python crash course. Okay. Now, yes, I'm coming to the questions, Rajesh Karan, right? Okay. Now let's talk about okay. I have the software now, but where do I write the code, right? So that is the point. So we are supposed to learn exactly where we are supposed to or okay, where am I supposed to, where am I supposed to write the code, right? So where am I supposed to write the code? Okay, right is missing. Okay, so for that, you need a code editor, right? You need a code editor, right? So code edit. What is code editor? A code editor is basically, is an application where you're supposed to, write the coding, right? In general, in industry, especially for the new beginners, we have a term called IDE, right? Now IDE is a term. IDE is a term, right? It's an application, right, used for creating applications, right? Okay, so you can discuss IDE in this sense, right? So IDE is an application used for creating applications, right? So what is an IDE, right? IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, right? Okay, I know most of you know this thing, but just taking care of the newcomers here. Integrated development environment. Okay, and it includes a code editor, right? A compiler, and a debugger which helps you, debug the code, and execution environment, right? And it can be separate also, but in most of the cases you will get it. Okay, so you have all the things integrated into it, right? So I'm going to show you exactly how or what IDE you can use. There are many IDEs available in the market for Python programming, right? So for Python programming, so the very popular IDE which is available in the market is PyCharm, right? PyCharm is an IDE which is from, I believe, JetBrains, right? So JetBrains people use have designed this PyCharm, and JetBrains is basically the company who has got a Android Studio with them, which is used for uh, Android development, right? Okay, PyCharm is the most popular IDE which is used suitable for project level development, right? So in case if you're into project level development, so you can use the PyCharm. Apart from that, we have Spider, which is given from the Anaconda distribution, right? So I'm going to show you exactly how a Spider looks like. So it depends, right? So you can go through the PyCharm in the Google. I'm going to show you Spider, and then we have something called Jupyter, right? So Jupyter is a web-based, right? It's a website kind of thing, right? So a website kind of editor. Actually, in this session, in this program, we are going to use Jupyter for writing the programs or the codings, right? So let me show you exactly how to get started with the Jupyter, right? So Jupyter is the environment where we are going to write the code. All right, so here you can see in the left side Once you have successfully installed the Anaconda distribution in your system, you're going to go to the start and simply write Anaconda. You're going to see this Anaconda navigator, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this Anaconda navigator. All right. So, if this is for the first time, it is going to take a little time to, start with the welcome screen. Okay. So here it goes. Okay. So where is the welcome screen here? All right. Okay, it's here, right? Okay, great. So you can see here, guys, right? So here we have the Anaconda navigator, right? So in the front, you can see, there are various tools available. We discussed about the spider, right? Spider is one of the IDE. We discussed about the Jupyter. Jupyter is once again one of the IDs available. So, I just give you some chance later to, just go through or explore this system, this application, right? And I'm going to the environments here, right? So if you go to the environment section here, on the right side, you can see the libraries which are available here, right? You can see here there are a lot of libraries which are available, right? Okay. So this is the built-in libraries available within the Anaconda environment. Okay. Then let's go to the home section and let's launch the Jupyter, right? So I'm going to click on this launch button here and let's launch the Jupyter here. Okay, so I've launched the Jupyter and I'm going to show you exactly how to get started with the Jupyter programming. Oh, Python programming in the Jupyter environment. So it is getting started, guys. Yes, admin, we can do that. All right, so this is the browser-based ID. You can see here right now I'm using the Edge browser for using the Jupyter environment, right? So the question is that how to use this Jupyter environment, right? How to use this Jupyter for coding, right? So let's get started here. So on the right side, you have a drop down here, right, which says new, and then simply click on Python 3 here, right? Not taking you through all the options here, right? So you have enough time to explore later. Those are simple and easy to handle. So just taking you through the code part, right? So new, and then click on Python 3. So once you click on Python 3, it is going to open a new tab here. You can see there is a new tab, and I'm going to show you how to use this environment, right? Okay. Now, the very first thing, right? This is called notebook, right? First of all, you have a notebook here. Now, the next thing you are supposed to observe what is the extension of your notebook. So you observe here the extension of your notebook is IPYNB, right? So you can see here. So it is IPYNB, right? Okay. And then this is the name of your notebook here, right? You're supposed to click on this title, and it will give you a dialog box here where you're supposed to write a notebook name, right? So my first notebook. Okay. And then click on rename button here. Yeah, Arkajit, by default. Okay, I think it is already there. One. Okay. Now, by default, the Jupyter saves the programs here in this directory in Windows, right? You need to check where exactly, uh, where exactly in Mac and Linux it is working. So in Windows, it basically saves the files in this location where the XYZ user is the name of your user. Yeah, okay, definitely I'm going to tell you the customizations, right? So just have some patience so that we can complete the core part first of all, and that is the fundamentals of Python programming at will, right? Yeah, we can do that, Bharat. We can do that. Now, this is a cell, guys, right? So this is a cell, right? So this is a cell, and here you are supposed to write code, right? Write code here, right? Write code here. So you're supposed to write the codes here, everyone, right? You're supposed to write the codes here. Okay. Now here I'm going to use this. Okay, this is comment, right? You can see here, this is a comment. So how we start a comment in a Python language? By using a hash here. Hash is for comment, right? So we use comments for writing descriptive statements, right? So if you want to write something descriptive, right? You want to describe your program, so you can simply use a comment, right? So let's print a message in Python, right? Okay, so how to print a message in Python? For that, we're going to use print and hello from Python. Okay, so this is how we print a message in Python, and let's click on run. Okay, now this is the beauty of Jupyter environment here. You can see that when I clicked on the run button, I can see the code here. Parallelly, I can see the output here as well, right? So it is, it is a very beautiful, short, precise execution of, Python programming. And here we don't have to, navigate through multiple windows, and we don't have any messy environment here like we have in Eclipse, right? So if you go through the Eclipse development, you will see that there are a lot of messy windows available, right? Sometimes they're useful and most of the times they're not. Okay. Yes, there is multi-line comment in Python. Okay. Okay. This is multi-line comment. Okay. Yeah, it is case sensitive, right? Okay. This is basically the execution in count. You can see here how many times you executed the cell. Every time you execute the cell, the count will increase. Dilip, in Python, we don't have the main method kind of concept in Python, right? It starts from the top of the line, right? We can, in Python, let me tell you, in Python, uh, there are many things which are similar to other programming languages such as Java, C, and C++, but there are n number of things which are not there in other programming languages, and not having main in Python is one of the difference we have in Python. Now, if you want to, no, it's not an array, right? It's just a representation. It's a visual of, the execution count. Yeah, Dilip, threading is supported. Yeah, Rajshekaran, we can call Jupyter as an interactive view. That is also true. Yeah, Devi Kiran, that is just a name of the module, right? So as I said, it's just a setting, right? It's just a setting. Okay. Yeah, admin, there is the importance of color codes such as, comments, strings, and functions, right? So they're important. Okay. Okay. Now let's talk about the errors part also, right? So it's not that always we're going to be happy. Sometimes we may be sad because of the errors. So first we are supposed to learn the errors as well, right? So let's look at the errors, right? How the errors looks like in Python. So you can see here it says unexpected indent, or it shows exactly where the error is. I'll tell you exactly why these errors are coming. Now, first of all, as I told you that, in Python, Python we follow indentation, right? Okay. Okay, there are a lot of questions which are being asked, right? Okay. Yeah, fine. Thank you, Himanshu, for that. Okay, fine. Thank you. Great. Okay. Green and blue colors. Okay. Fine. Okay, everyone. See, you need to understand the color codes, right? So with the time, you will understand exactly what these color codes are. So I'll tell you a small description here. We have functions, we have keywords, we have strings, right? We have integers, we have comments, right? For different type of members, we have different color codes, right? So with the time, I'll explain you, and you will automatically learn what these color codes means, right? Okay. So I was just telling exactly why we are getting this kind of error here, right? So we are getting this error because we have a space here, everyone, right? So you can see here, we have a space here. So in Python, we are not supposed to, give spaces, right? So we're not supposed to give spaces in from the first line, right? So indentation should not, the rule of indentation should not be broken, right? So I'm just removing the indent from here, and I'm going to click on run, and it says okay, right? Now let's do it one more time, right? So print, okay, welcome to Python crash course, right? And now this time I'm going to tell you the short key for execution, right? You can press shift enter, right? Okay, you can press shift enter for the execution of your cell, right? So what it does basically, it executes the current cell and generates a new cell for you. Can you see that? Right? Just observe. It executed the current cell and generated a new cell for you. Okay, great. Now this is the this is the start of your Python programming, right? So now onwards, I'm going to use the shift enter in the background. Now you will not see me clicking on the run button, right? Okay, let's proceed further. Now, in the next demonstration, let's talk about the Python data structures, right? Python data structure. Okay. No, Priyanshu, it doesn't, right? Okay. Okay, let's talk about the Python data structures. Now, first of all, before I start with the Python data structures, let me ask you a small question here, and that is, do you know the full form of these three terms? Yes, because I've executed that 5 times probably. That's why. That's just execution count, yes. Okay. Do you know the full form of these three letters, guys? Okay. 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 Fine. Input, processing, and output. Okay. But guys, fine. I agree with all of you. I agree with all of you, right? Now, will you agree with this second description? Let's see. Let's say, will you agree with this second description, right? Input data, process data, and output data, right? The definition of, or the standard form of IPO is input, process, and output, right? Right? The standard definition of IPO is input, process, and output. But I changed that definition to these three extended definition. Now, do you agree with this definition, guys? Do you give me the consensus, the public or aggregate consensus, right? Okay. So, okay, input, process, and output, right? But this is the term which we use in computers, right? Okay, this is the term that we use in computers: input, process, and output. Now, basically, it is all about input data, accept the data, process the data, and output some data, isn't it? Now, here in all the three entities, there is something which is common here is data, right? Data. So basically, computing is all about working on data here, right? Now, after this phase, right? After this phase, after inputting the data, right? After accepting the data from the user, right? What you're supposed to do? You're supposed to store or hold or contain that data, right? Right. So after you have after you have accepted the data, what's the next step, right? The next step is not to process the data, right? Listen to me carefully. After you have accepted the data from the user, the next step is not to process the data. There is a middle phase in between, and that is you are supposed to store the data or hold the data or contain the data somewhere so that you can manipulate it, isn't it? Right? Okay. Now for that we have something called data structures here, right? Okay. Now data structure is a very bigger term for this definition, but still let's go through this, right? So it is going to help me in the upcoming sessions. So data structure is something which lets you hold the data and perform operations on that data, right? So this lets you hold data and compute that data, right? So we're going to learn data structures which are going to let you hold data and compute that data. And the very simple example of data structure here is variable right now, which is a container, right? Okay, fine. I'm going to use container for this, right? A container. In programming, we have containers available, right? And a technical vocabulary for container is variable, right? So I'll give an example here according to other programming languages. Int jar equals to 100, right? So in case if you're very new to programming, I want you to visualize this jar as a jar, right? In case if you're very new to programming, please visualize this jar as a jar, means it's a container which is holding the value 100, and this int is telling that what kind of value this jar is supposed to hold. And int means integer, right? So is this jar is holding the right value, integer value? Yes, this is holding the right value. Now this is what jar is, right? So jar is basically is a solution for containing data, right? So you will agree with me with this, right? What is jar? Jar is a solution which is used for, containing data. It's solution for containing data. Now here in Python, we do have variables available, right? We do have variables available here. Okay. So Has, for that, numpy arrays and data frames. That's true. Okay. So variables here, right? So for example, jar equals to 100. Now observe here, right? Now observe here, right? I'm not mentioning type identifier, right? See, observe here, I'm not mentioning type identifier. Now what does it mean? It means that I'm not mentioning the data type here. I'm not mentioning what kind of value this jar is supposed to hold, right? Because in Python, you are not supposed to mention the data types. You're not supposed to mention the type identifier, right? What kind of value this jar is going to hold. Now, okay, Python automatically assigns the data type to the variable according according to the value assigned. So what value we have assigned to the variable jar, and that is 100. What kind of variable, what kind of value it is? The value is integer. So the data type or the type of your variable will be integer, right? So the type of your variable will be integer. Okay. Yes, Yogesh, it will allow. It will be a float, right? Let me show you something here. Print jar. Okay, so it might look very simple to you, but we are just we are just witnessing how to use variables or how to declare variables in Python, and we are just witnessing that in Python dynamic typing happens, right? Dynamic typing. When I say dynamic typing, it basically means that the type of your variable is determined at the runtime according to the or based on the value which is assigned to the variable, right? Now let's say you don't know what is the type of your variable, right? Let's say you don't understand exactly what type it is. For that, I'm going to show you exactly how to identify the type here, right? And that is the type method, right? Okay, so in Python we have a function called type. Type tells you the data type of given argument, right? So let's look at this. So what it says, integer, right? Yeah, that's true, B Kanana. It is not type strict, so I'll call it loosely typed Python, right? So the Python is a loosely typed programming language. So when I say loosely typed, it means it doesn't have a strict uh, you can say enforcement of types on the variables, right? Okay, there are many, Amar, and I'll tell you exactly with the flow here. So let's do some more exploration, right? Okay, string var. Okay, hello from Python. Okay, int var 100, float var equals to 12.2, right? Okay, and then what we have, Boolean. Uh, okay, fine. Is human. Okay, true, right? Okay, let's look at the values here. Print string var, print int var, print float var, print is human, right? First of all, let's look at the output here. Josna, it will not allow you, right? So it will not allow you that thing without initialization. Okay, so fine. Now the next time, right? Now the next time when I'm going to, present the session here, next time I want the participants to do the programming parallelly, right? So next time when you are coming here, so do the programming parallelly, right? Let me show you, right? Print type float var. Okay, you can see here it shows float, right? For decimal items, that's true. Okay. Now I'm going to take a pause for a few minutes because it has been 1 hour and there are a lot of Q&A which are pending. So I'll just take 5 minutes or so for answering the questions and then we will resume the session. So till the time, in case if you're preparing your content or doing the programming, you can do that. Okay. So just taking up some Q&A sections here. There are a lot of Q&A which are available. Okay. So I think that is for some other person. Amol, I will, I have got, I have done a data science thing in Python, but in R, that was not able to convince me. I don't know why, but I'll say that Python has got more tools compared to R, right? So that's just my personal, you can say, suggestion, or you can say. Yes, Hemendra, Python is also a functional programming language. We can write Python in functional style. Okay, Pranay, thank you for that. Yes, Dilip, I think I answered you with the soap services. Yes, Suraj, we can do that, but it is going to compromise on performances. Anandu, that is your question about the speech recognition requires me to see your code. In case if you can post your code to the upgrade team, I'll definitely look after that and respond you on the mail in that case. Vinayaka, what is a distribution? The answer is that distribution is basically a complete package, I will say here, which includes your standard libraries, execution engine, and the additional libraries which are required for high level development, plus some development tools as well. Kanavi Ohri, your question is that how to change the file location, file storage while installing the Anaconda. I think in one of the installation steps, there is a button for browse location, and from there you can change the installation location of Anaconda. Yeah, Sri Lakshmi, you said that it opens Anaconda Navigator. That is the right thing. Thank you, Manshu, for that. Pathik, in Jupyter, according to you, we don't. You can download this Jupyter notebook, and it is automatically saved, right? Thank you, Vikas, for that lovely response. Hey, Vinay, I will not cover all sessions today. I think we have hardly covered anything except some basic things about the environment setup and how to start with the programming. There are many, Amar. So I'm going to show you, right? I don't want to confuse you. Even I have not counted the number of data types. So I'm just going to tell you exactly whatever I know about. Yes, SG, an integer can be printed as a float, right? So that is possible through string formatting. Amar, I'll say, as for your question about Anaconda Python ID during real life coding, it depends on your choice, right? I think there are, I think such as PyCharm, right? PyCharm has got good uh, you know, code editors, good project management tools compared to, a Jupyter or Anaconda distribution. So I'm using Anaconda because it has got Jupyter first of all, and Jupyter is very good for snippet-based programming. So when I say snippet-based programming, that basically means that for smaller sections of code. So because during the training sessions, I'm supposed to write smaller sections of code. So the Jupyter cells allow me to do that very well, right? And if I do the same in PyCharm, which is one of the beautiful IDE for project level, so in that case, it is going. I have to handle multiple lines altogether, right? So there, it will be difficult for me to differentiate between the snippets. Okay, Harsha, as you said about the assignment of 100, it is possible. No, it will not throw any error. Praveen, with additional installations, you can do that for the Android. Amal, Tom, Sunny, the installation of packages in Anaconda is through the environment tab, right? So I'm going to include that one whenever it is required in my upcoming sessions, but as of now, it is not required. You know, since Python is open source, how come the security is taken care? I'll tell you, PS, it's when you're into enterprise application development or when you're working with any enterprises, right? So it's not only one technology that is being used for any product, any big level product, right? So there are a number of things, right? There are a number of you can say services available for the security sake. Let's say a software firewall, a hardware firewall, IP protection, antiviruses. There are a lot of things which are available. So it's not only you don't have to depend on only one thing, right? So there are many factors for that. Shawnee Mukherjee. Okay, Shawnee, I got your point. I'm going to show you that thing, right? Just give me some time. Right? Let me complete my session and I'm going to show you. Yes, Aditya, we can have both Python and Anaconda stored on the same machine. Avinash, I'm going to share some study material for this course, definitely. But can you drop me an email first of all to the brand, and then I'll forward you in your mail ID. Harry Chopra, as per your question, this training session is not a replacement of the recorded sessions or pre-recorded sessions you have. This this live session is there so that you have a sequence which smoothens the pace of your learning, and you reach your goal in a lesser number of time, avoiding all the debugging troubleshootings, right? So that's what I'm aiming for, right? And the complete almost better learning in Python, so that you are completely independent of learning, right? Yes, 7MJ70W2, Python is important for data analytics. That is completely true. Completely true. Shweta Singh, why we are preferring Jupyter over other IDE? And the answer is that Jupyter is very good for small snippets of codes, right? So in my training sessions, I'm going to show you various concepts in small snippets. So in Jupyter, with the help of cells, I can distribute the sections. I can differentiate between different execution code sections. So it becomes easy for me to execute or manage the code. If I use any other IDs, so it will be kind of difficult for me to manage hundreds of lines in a single file. Right? So that will be difficult for me. I hope this answers your question, Shweta. Yeah, okay, Samir, you have asked me a very big question, right? How can we learn all the codings and its uses? So it's just keep the you know enthusiasm charged and just keep working, keep working. Someday you might come across the end of Python, but it is really difficult because the community is working very hard on the extensions right now. but at least learn at that level where you are able to deliver the product till that level. Yes, Aman, I do. The syntax or the semantics are similar in Python and Python. Yeah. A very good question from Bharat 9989. He says that can you explain what is idle? Idle is basically, it's an ID once again, right? So right now I can show you idle because I don't have. So idle is an ID once again, but that ID is just like a notepad, right? It's just like a notepad ID and not suitable for, you know, uh, you're going to face a lot of errors, right? So in case if you have any errors, it will be very difficult for you to find the errors in idle. So I don't recommend using idle code editor for your Python programming, right, in the beginning. So Jupyter is good for the beginners, I believe. Randir, in the real time, I think in real time we don't use Jupyter actually, right? Because Jupyter is not for productions, right? You can use it for production if you want, but Jupyter is just a management of codes, right? It's just a management of sections, which lets you organize your code, right? So in in real time in industries we have scripts, right? We have Python scripts mostly. In most of the cases, Python scripts, and Python scripts are not written in Jupyter. For that, they use the proper IDE, and that is the PyCharm kind of thing or Spider, right? Okay, okay. Hari. Yeah, Hari, we can override the type of Python, data types or variables, right? We can do that. Money. In your course, are you supposed to know any other programming languages, for example, Java? So my answer is that first of all, if you know any programming languages, it is okay. It will help you get along with the concepts and the syntaxes, right? But it's not necessary. I'll say if you give a little extra time on Python if you're a beginner, so you can easily take up this program. So because Python is something which is very easy to handle with the right guidance and right training, you can easily do that, right? So just have some trust on me at least, right? So I'm going to help you with the Python programming, and definitely you're going to conquer this language. Kana Ohri. I've installed Anaconda in C, but want to change the location. Now, how to do that? In that case, I suggest you to uninstall the program and then reinstall it, right? Kana? Okay. Yes, Devashish, Python is platform independent. Neha, is Python is the only way to learn data science, or there is any other programming languages available? When you say data science, it's a big term. Basically, it includes a lot of things all together. So it's not that you cannot do it with other programming languages. You can do it with Java as well, right? So Java has got good libraries, but Python, Python has got extended things. So that's why the companies are preferring Python. Neha. CNU 247BB0D. In case if your self-paced sessions are showing logged, please contact the upgrade team. Yes, Sneha, we can perform data visualization using Jupyter. For that, you're supposed to use the Seaborn or Matplotlib library. Yes, Nirup, Anaconda can be used offline. It is used offline only. Yogesh, PyCharm, right? PyCharm is the right answer. Okay, Guna Sundari, how do we define the date only, right? It is like date only. I'm going to show you how to work with dates. There is a module for that, date time actually. Satya Vinayak, I did not cover virtual environment specifically because it's not needed. We can work on single environment with the single version of Python. So that's completely okay. If you want to work with different environments, you can. Yes, Shawnee, can you please drop a mail to the upgrade team for regarding your requirement of this book reference? So I'll drop you the response in that. Yes, Gaurav, you can open Jupyter on any browser, but that requires a small tweak in the execution. So whenever, like you just post the question once again today or in next session, I'm going to show you. Siddharth Nair, right? You said duration. I'm little confused about the question. Can you post the full question once again, Siddharth? Harsha. Yes, Harsha, I will share the study material with the attendees, right? I'll connect with the upgrade team and they'll connect with you. Yeah, Nirmala, as I said. Suraj, as I said, Python has got good extensions for various domains such as machine learning, data analytics, or the artificial intelligence. We have TensorFlow, we have SciPy, we have NumPy, which is the foundation for any data structures available over data science or ML domain. So because of these, community, you can say contributions, right? We have got good solutions with us for the data science. Yeah, Mahalakshmi, these recordings will be available in your student portal probably. Amar Naidu, I think that is a good suggestion, right? Head First Python is a very good book because of its visualization-based teaching. So yes, I will recommend Head First Python for the reference. Yes, Dilip, Eclipse, I need to check the plugin for that, right? So can you just check the plugin for the Python programming? If it is available, then you can work on that. I generally use Eclipse for my Java programming purposes or the big data analytics purposes. Rajabhumi, I'll say PyCharm is better than Eclipse. I find Eclipse sort of kind of messy. Siddharth, for installation of packages, I'm going to show you probably in my next session, right? Just till then, have patience. And as of now, it is not required the extra packages to install. Ashok Kale, the Jupyter is a web-based ID and Spider is a window-based application. That is the most of difference, apart from some differences in, some additional functionalities, but the rest, all the things are similar. It's just an environment where you're working, either it is a web or a window. PS, your question is that how can we relate the code in Anaconda with the real time? The thing is that it depends on the what code you're writing right now. So in this context, I cannot answer you how to represent the code in real time unless until we do the code or complete the code properly, right? It depends on what kind of scenario we are working with. Samir, can you mention your operating system, right? Uh, that will help me. I think if it is DPKG, that should be Ubuntu based probably. Raj Sekhar has a question. He says that Scala is better than Python for handling huge volumes of data and big data. All right. So here, Scala is kind of better compared to Python because of its, once again, it is very, very reduced. Python is reduced. Python's got reduced code compared to Java, and Scala has got even more reduced codes compared to Python. So in terms of coding convenience, I'll say that Scala is better for handling big data. But don't worry, Python is also good. Okay, Vivek. Okay, so Vivek, I will definitely share the video resources with you, right? There are very good videos available over the internet, and some I have picked for better learning. So I'll share all those videos with you. Can you just repeat your requirement once again in next coming sessions? So I'll definitely do that. Or you can just drop an email to our prayer team. I'll respond to you for that. Okay. As said, Python is platform independent, and why there are different versions of Python installer for Windows and other operating system. Debashish, what happens exactly? I'll tell you the reason. Uh, let's take an example of Java here. Let's say we call it Java is also platform independent, but in real it is not true. Right? It's not true. So the engine, right? So I'll tell you what happens exactly. In in real, for for Python or Java, the engine which is responsible for the execution of the instructions or the codings is constructed or written separately for every platform or for every operating system. So for example, let's say an example of, let's say, Java here or even Python. Both the things are same actually. So the engines which are responsible for executing the codes are written separately for each operating system or for each platform. So for Windows, the execution environment is written separately. For Linux and for Mac, the execution environment or the engine is written separately. So it feels like the language is platform independent, but in real, the virtual machines or the engines are written separately, right? So I hope this answers your question, Debashis. Aman, yes, I'll do that with the time. Some good communities to join. You can simply go to pypy.org. From there, you will get some good things. Or python.org has got the community link also. Yes, definitely, Amar. Python helps in text analytics as well. There are a lot of things we can do in text analytics. It's easy. With the additional modules and libraries, you can read PDFs as well. Bharat, does Python requires the depth knowledge of mathematics, or are basics enough? I'll say that the basics are enough. The reason, because if unless until you are about to crack the Mars mission, the basic mathematics will do. The reason behind is that in the popular libraries or the modules which are going to work in ML or data science are having the built-in functions, or the you can say are having the built-in functions or methods which are pre-coded according to the mathematics. You are just supposed to supply the right arguments to them, and you will get the output. Such as, let's take an example of linear regression. So linear regression is a topic which you can do manually also, or if you're not comfortable with the mathematics. So for that, you can use the SciPy library. You can do that. Sorry, sklearn. So sklearn library, and you can simply handle the linear regression with the functions. Right? I hope that answers your question, Bharat. Okay. Samir Madhuvansh, you're using Windows. Okay. Samir, I'm really sorry. Can you write the full question? I'm sorry once again. Srinivasan, as and when required, you can install the modules if you want. Avinash, as part of this course, I'm not covering the visualization part, right? So I'll be taking you till the analytics level using the NumPy, pandas, and all. Yeah, that's true, Lenovo. I agree with you, but I'm just trying, right? I also encourage participants in case the questions are self-solvable. So please do not pose the questions. Okay. No, Praveen Sharma, we are not going to cover the dance flow sessions. And I expect this to happen to me because this is the first session, so obviously there'll be a lot of queries. Okay. Uh, Priyanshu, I'll say that just stick to the grad sessions as well as the live sessions which we are doing right now, and I believe that this is going to make create a strong foundation of Python programming, which will help you a lot in in further taking up the courses or the programs. And also, I don't know your background exactly, what kind of technical background you have. So based on that, I could suggest some more things to you. Emil Thompsony, yes, these sessions are mandatory. Thank you. All right, so let's get started further. Okay, so we have done a lot of things here, right? So I'm going to show you some few more things here in the programming. Okay, let's get back to the programming or the coding part here, everyone. So let me ask first of all, right, everyone. So can I see your responses, whether still you are enthusiastic, energetic, and on high josh? So can I see the responses here, everyone? You can hit the keyboard as hard as you want. Okay. All right, that's great. Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you, Dipesh. All right, so okay. Thank you, Pradeep, Prasanna, Avinash, Sandeep, Mahesh, Dilip, Praveen, Shubham. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Right. So let's learn how to make the user enter something, or in simple word, accept input. Right. So in the next demonstration, I'm going to show you exactly how you can make your program dynamic by accepting user, right? Oh, that's 30,000. Okay, money. Okay, so here it goes like, right? So input is a method in Python, right? Enter your name, buddy, right? So it's like this. So you can see here, guys, in Python, we have a method or function called input. Input is used for accepting the input from user. And, it accepts a message as the argument. And slash n is for line break here. You can see that after I executed the cell, it says that enter your name, buddy. So I said, let's say John Mac, and simply it says John Mac. Now in the next demonstration, I'm going to show you exactly how you can extend the demonstration by accepting the uh, what the input in the variable, right? So input, hey, uh, what's your name, right? So it's like this, right? Yeah, Sankar, it's just that I'm just trying to keep things minimal, right? Okay. So let's say John here, right? So what I've done here, what is the difference in these two lines here? In the first line, we are accepting the input, but we're not storing it, right? In the second line, we are accepting the input and we are storing the input in the variable here, which is called name, right? Right? Which is called name here. Now, what is the advantage here? We can we can you know uh, print it, right? So it says hi name. So I said, let's say Bucky, right? So it says hi Bucky, right? So it's like this. And one more thing we are supposed to observe here, what it is, it says that plus is used for concatenation, right? Plus is used for concatenation, for concatenating two values here. Okay, so this is how we accept the inputs, guys, right? So it depends on how many inputs you want to accept from the user, right? Okay, now let's do some math here, right? So we are supposed to do some math here also. So let's look at this math. Number equals to input, hey, enter some number, right? Okay. So first of all, I want to show you something here, everyone, right? Okay, 12. So can we use same variables in different blocks? Yes, we can. We can. These are global variables, Ambuj. So we can use them in different blocks. That's completely okay with us. Okay. So I want to observe. I want observation here first of all. Can you observe the type of variable, right? So when I'm accepting the number from user, I entered 12. But when I'm printing the type of that number, it says string, right? It says string. So what does it mean? It means that whatever we accept input from user, whatever we input, by default, it is in the form of string. String means characters, right? Now, what is the problem with characters? Cannot do math, right? Cannot do math. Okay. Just okay, fine. Okay, cannot do math, right? Okay. All right. So I think okay, fine. So I think Srinivasan can hear me now. Okay, fine. So the problem with the string is that we cannot do math here. So what we are doing here is that, okay. So what we are doing here, we are converting, right? We will convert. Okay, let's do it properly. We will convert the string, which is character, into integer, right? So what we will do, we will convert the string into integer. Why will convert string into integer? So that we can do the maths, right? So what is the syntax for that? The syntax is this, right? Now we have a function here. We have a function here which is called int. Int is a function used to convert anything, any argument into integer, right? Because I've shown you, right? I've shown you that the num is by default string, right? You must remember this thing. Num is by default string. Now string gets converted into integer. Now once again, why we're converting into integer? Because we want to do math, right? Because with characters we cannot do math. Okay, so okay, this is the expression, right? So I'm just converting the string into integer, storing it inside the num once again in the integer form. Now, as a shortcut, as an alternative, what I can do is this thing, this expression. Now, this expression will also work, right? Both the expressions are true, right? So this is a short expression. What does it mean? It means that we are going to accept the input, we are going to convert it into integer, and we are going to store it inside number, right? So that is the short expression for this expression as well. Now let's do square here, right? Num into num. All right. Now print the square of num is square. Okay. So here it says, hey, enter the sum number 7, and it says that the square of 7 is 49. All right. Okay. So money, as I told you in the beginning, in Python, we are not supposed to specify and the data type of any given integer or variable, right? So it happens automatically at the runtime. All right. So money has a question here, right? Money has a very good question. He says that will the comma and the plus work the same way, right? So you can see here in the previous demonstration, I used a plus here, and in the new demonstration, I'm using a comma here. Now, what is the problem here? What is the concern here? The concern here is that, you know, plus requires both the operands to be of string, right? Plus requires, right? I'll say plus requires both the operands, right? So both the operands to be of string data type. Then only plus can work. Otherwise, it is going to throw you an exception or error, right? So here you can see that we have a string on the left side, but on the right side we have integer. So in this case, I cannot use plus here because on the right side we have integer. In the same way, in this expression also, in one of the side we have integer and we have string here, so there is in type incompatibility, right? There is type incompatibility. So in this kind of scenario, what you can do, you can use comma here. Okay, I'll show you the error. Can you see, Manas, Subra? Okay, Deep Energy, sorry. No, Manas, it will not work, or it may turn boolean to 0 or 1, right? Just need to check out. Okay, yeah, Nimalya, I'll just repeat it for you. Yeah, we do have. Yeah, we do have that thing. We can do casting as well. Yeah, okay. Once again, let me repeat once again. So what I want to say here is that, see, look at this highlighting, right? If you're using plus on both the on both the side, or the operands has to be string, right? If any of the operand is not string, in that case, you cannot use plus, or you're supposed to do casting there. That means you're supposed to convert any non-string into a string, and then it will work, right? Or else what you can do is you can use a comma here, right? Or else you can use a comma, right? Comma allows you to work with multiple data types here. It's just like appending, and it doesn't requires the type compatibility. It works with all of the types. Yeah, HP, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Now the next thing, what we can do here is that I'll tell you, right, because some of the participants mentioned this thing. So what we can do here is that print the square of is dot format num comma square. Look at this expression, guys. Okay, one plus. Hello once again. So you can see here the square of curly bracket is curly bracket dot format num comma square. So you know what this is? This is an alternate or convenient way of you know appending or generating the strings, right? Or formatting the strings. So if you're not comfortable with the plus or comma, so you can use the dot format method. Now, how dot format method works? It is going to replace all the flower brackets or the curly brackets with the given number of arguments correspondingly. So when I say correspondingly, that basically means that the first curly bracket is going to replace with the first argument, and the second curly bracket is going to replace with the second argument, right? Okay, fine. Yeah, actually that's true. Like percent %D, percent %S, percent %C. So all the things are also available here. Right? Okay, fine. So can I ask my participants, right? Is the demonstration on how to accept numbers from the user, why we are supposed to convert it into integer, and how the dot format function is working? Is it okay with all of you guys? It will work, guys, right? It will work. Especially I'm concerned with the participants who are starting with the programming, right? Okay, that's great. That's great. Shreya, I want you to please raise your query once again and tell me in detail exactly what things are not understood. I'll simply repeat the things once again. I'm not trying to overburden anyone, right? Okay, I'll do that for you. Fine. Yeah, I will explain the dot format once again. So let's look at this expression first of all. Yeah, I will explain one by one, Gaurav. That is also possible, right? Now, first of all, let me explain the dot format function, and then we'll proceed. It will make you clear. See, so what I want to write here is that, okay, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So we are going to generate this string, right? We are going to generate this string. Okay, so let's look at this, right? N a keeps the away. All right, let's look at this, right? Okay, now dot format. Now whatever arguments I'm going to supply here are going to be replaced by the curly brackets. So first of all, I supplied apple here. So this apple is going to replace the first curly bracket, right? Oops, I need to supply the complete values. Okay, day, doctor. Okay, so can you see that all the curly brackets are replaced with the given arguments here? So what is this? Dot format function helps you easy construction of strings, right? Dot format function helps you easy construction of strings. Now, okay, suppose if I give you a book, right, containing 128 fields, right? So in that case, how will you construct the string or a message or a line out of that, right? So just imagine this kind of scenario, right? If I'm giving you a book where there are 128 fields, so in that case it will be very difficult for you to manage 128 values using commas or plus. So in that case you need an easy construction of your string. So in that case dot format is very helpful. Okay, now, okay, some of the participants asked me to repeat the question once again. So I'm going to repeat the question once again. Let's see exactly how things are working. So here we are supposed to accept a number and print the square, right? Sharat, it is mandatory right now, right? It is not actually, but you may face some different outputs sometimes, because if you don't use print, the newer output will override the previous output. So this kind of thing happens. Yeah, Nirmalya, I'll repeat the book example here. So, let's take an example, Nirmalya. You may be doing data science or data analytics. So you may come across a data set, right, where the number of attributes, the number of values are very huge in size, right? So for let's take an example of I'll take the example of weblog, right? So these are some technical examples here actually. Weblog, right? If you can just manage this, right? So what is weblog basically? Weblog is basically a file uh, which contains the user's tracking, right? So what happens, let's say whenever you're accessing Facebook, let's say, right, whenever you're accessing Facebook, so what Facebook does, it generates a file. In that file, Facebook server writes the entries about the users. So what kind of users are accessing, the IP address of user who access the Facebook, right, the date and time of Facebook, right, and then the file which was accessed in the Facebook, let's say, and then what was the HTTP method, or what was the HTTP status code, right, and what was the what was that file extension kind of thing, right? So when you have n number of attributes in your data sets, right, and you are supposed to construct a string out of this message, out of this data, right? So in this example, if I ask you to construct a simple user friendly string out of the given attributes, right, so if you construct a string out of the given attributes, it will be very difficult for you to manage the n number of attributes using the commas and plus, right? The concatenation is difficult when you have larger number of values. So in this kind of example, you can use the dot format function, which helps you in the easy construction of your strings. Okay, so coming back to this point here, right? Few of the participants asked me to repeat the mathematical input here. So I'm going to repeat it once again. So in this demonstration, we are supposed to accept a number from the user. So first of all, let's accept the number, right? So I told you that for accepting a number, we're supposed to use this function input, isn't it? This is for accepting a number. Now, next thing is that you must remember that whenever a user enters a number, by default it is string. And what is the problem with the string? The problem with the string is that you cannot do the mathematics. So what is the solution here? The solution is you are supposed to convert the string into integers. Why? So that you can do the math. So what is the syntax here? The syntax is this. Now, what does this syntax means? This syntax basically means that it accepts the number from the user and converts it into integer, right? And then once you accept a data from the user, you're supposed to store it, right? So unless until you store it, uh, you cannot manipulate it in the future. So I'm storing the number inside a variable called number. Now, how do we calculate the square? It's very easy, number into number, right? Just going through the simple expression, simple mathematical expression. So I'm using a different variable here for better understanding. So whatever the number is going to be multiplied by itself, and it is going to be stored inside square. Now let's print the message here. The square of is, okay, dot format number comma square 8. Okay, you can see here I entered 8, and then I squared it. 8 into 8 64, square is 64. So number is going to be taking this place, and the square is going to take this place. So Himanshu, if we square a string, it is going to append it 2 times, right? It's like high, high. So it's like high, so it becomes high, high. Okay. So can I ask my participants, is the demonstration clear to all of you, especially for the newcomers here? Okay, fine. Got it. So I'm going to take Q&A section here as we are coming to the end of the session. Let's complete the Q&A section here. Python crash course, please put a comma in between, right? Uh, can we write a single code Python? Can you just elaborate that? What is single code? SG, if we input the number, it is still string. Yes, SG, that's true. No, Harry, we cannot. Braces. I think braces. Okay, I'll just do that for you, SG. What if there is something with one number? Yeah, Avinash, in that case, you're going to see an exception in that case. Jayashri, the connection to SQL DB is not covered in the future sessions here, but you may find it in the pre-recorded sessions. Here in this crash course, we are aiming for strong programming foundation along with object orientation plus strong analytical foundation. Yes, Srinivasan, we have, right? It's just like int and float. Vivek, I'll do that for you. For that, you're supposed to use the if-else condition, Srinivasan. So Shalina, for that, the Avgad is going to share the schedule with you. Praveen, dot n plus operators are not same, right? Although they do the same work of concatenation, but their behavior is different in context to uh, uh, okay, in context to how they behave, they are different. Okay, Neha Bishnoi, according to your question, I said that Python is not there in Python. That is true. But here there is a difference in the usage, Neha. In other programming languages, mostly we use curly braces for defining the scope of the various sections in our program, such as where is the class section, where is the function section, right? Where is the for loop section or for loop scope, where is the if else scope, where is the try catch scope. So in other programming languages, we use curly braces in context to defining the scope of any particular member of your program. But in Python, we don't use curly braces for defining the scope. But here in the string example, we are using curly braces. But here, curly braces is just a position identifier. So it has nothing to do with the scope thing, right? I hope that answers the question. User, can you please, okay, probably you will get the recorded sessions in your student portal, user. Yeah, money, that's true. Python by default considers input as string. Jitendra, there are other expressions as well, such as percent expressions, right? And we can do that. But I think format is one of the standard one, and it is easy to. If you give some time, you'll easily master it. Yeah, Ruchika, sometimes we display value using the print and sometimes I don't use. So, actually Jupyter by default prints anything if you don't use print message, right? So as a, you can say it's not a part of session, it's not part of Python that I'm supposed to use it or not. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't use it. So it's just my personal preference. But I recommend that you should use print function for printing your messages, and do not go with that default printing, right? Because in default printing, what is the problem? If you print four statements, the last statement will override all the other statements. Ruchika, I hope you got your answer. Python crash course, I think that is you're using the wrong expression in your assignment, right? If you put b on the very rightmost side, so it will happen what you're aiming for. uh Shweta, I doubt that you have downloaded a right version of Anaconda. Please once again go back to the download site and make sure you select the right operating system and then download. Sumit Kumar, dynamic typing is actually required in many cases. Dynamic typing was introduced in C Sharp, in Microsoft .NET, and in Java as well, in a very, very later stages, right? because it was required, right? Let's take an example of let's say MVC architecture, right? Model view control architecture. In model view control architecture, the the classes are generated anonymously, or the anonymous classes are generated. So at that time, dynamic typing is required. So at a very small level, it is of it's not of much use, but at higher level, it is going to be a very good useful thing. I'll say that. Shalini, so can you contact the CAT team for the schedule? Okay, fine. So can we achieve lexical scoping in Python? Yes, we can do that, right? If you just simply, if you want me to cover or want me to give an overview, I can give that, right? Once I'm done with the session, not today, but in my upcoming sessions. Dilip, colon is a part of syntax, right? Colon is a part of syntax. So we are supposed to use that, right? I'll just clear all the syntaxes in my upcoming sessions. Yes, Srinivasan, I'm going to make you master on this question, like how we create having objects having different data types. So yes, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that, right? You don't need to worry. That is part of my job, right? So I'll take care of that. Yes, Sandeep, we do have constructors and destructors in Python, and we have a dedicated session on this. Don't worry. Vivek, Vivek, can you just reinstall Anaconda once again and look for the browse location button? No money, it will not work with the spaces. So Ketu, that will also work. Thank you for the code. Okay, Srinivasan has a very good question. He says that how do we get an help of various statements in Python? So I'm going to show you, right? This will be helpful for everyone, right? So just have a look here, guys. So if you're looking for some kind of help in Python about some keywords and something like that, so simply type help here, right? So you can see here I'm typing help function here, and it shows me a utility here. It says that welcome to Python 3.6 help utility, and here if if you want to get a list of available modules, you can simply type all these things here, right? So it says this. So if I'm looking for topics, let's say, so you can see the topics here, right? So I entered the topics from here, and for any other topic, if you're looking for some more detail, you can simply type the topic name here, right? So I hope this answers your question, Srinivasan. Okay. Yeah, Bharat, that's true about your plus operator. So Ketu, for restricting, you can use regular expressions in that case, so Ketu, right? I think regular expression is the good way of validating the data. Okay, okay, thank you, Sudha. Fine. So guys, now this is the first session for all of you, right? So I tried to cover so many things. There were hundreds of questions in the session. So I hope most of you have learned something out of the foundation. And time for me to conclude the session. And in case if you have any other question, please do ask me, right? And I'm here to solve the queries, right? Okay. Make sure that before you leave, right, in the next session, you must be ready with the installation and must have done some sort of programming. Today, I'm not sharing any assignment, right? And in next session, I'm going to share assignments, and I'm going to make things a little more complicated so that you be pre-prepared with all these things, right? So make sure you do not attend the session without practicing, and if possible, please do the programming parallelly, right? I encourage the participants here to do the programming parallelly, right? Thank you. So Devadeep, you have a question. Can we debug the code in Python? Yes, we can, right? So we can debug that. And thank you, Harry Chopra. Okay. No, the deep energy right now. I don't want you to go through any other content over the internet. Just freeze whatever you have learned, and just make it strong as of now, right? Thank you, Bharat, for your lovely compliment and response. Thank you. It really motivates me for performing better and better. Over to you, Rajesh.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rajan, for this important session. I'm sure that the students would have found it quite insightful. So, like before we end this session, learners, we would just like to take a small poll regarding the feedback that you would like to share with us. So, I'm just sharing the poll, requesting all of you to provide your feedback. And in that meantime, again, I would like to reiterate to the students that make sure that you complete the entire prep course before 30th of June, so that once the main program starts, it will be very convenient for you to understand the entire program. As Rajan has discussed, like we'll be having 5 more practice sessions regarding the Python crash course. The next one being on 10th of June at 8 p.m. The same communications would be sent to you on email itself. And apart from this, like it is quite like assumable that you would be having questions, doubts, queries regarding Python as the programming language. So do reach out on the discussion forum so that the teaching associates will help you answer these questions. And I guess a few student mentors must have reached out to a few students as well. So if you have any queries or any doubts or such things, please reach out to the student mentors as well. And if you haven't received a student mentor, they will be reaching out to you in the next week. Yeah. So thank you so much again, all of the students. And Rajan, also, once again, thank you so much for being a part of this session. And moving forward, I guess we'll be having more interactive sessions and quite
Thank,
fruitful things towards the students as well.
thank you, Rajesh. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night. Good night.